Scott, as far as Herschel Walker's opponent goes, are we looking at more of a new fighter like himself, or are we looking at more of an experienced veteran?
Well, the thing about Herschel is, did you guys go over and watch him work out?
Saw a little bit.
Yeah, so, Herschel, this is he told me a really interesting story when we were having dinner one night, and he said, when I was playing college football and running sprint at the University of Georgia, he said, I would go and play football on Saturdays, and I'd go compete in martial arts tournaments on Sunday. So he had a bunch of karate trophies, and he was doing point fighting, he was doing taekwondo fighting, but he loves martial arts. And, when MMA started, he was playing football, so, and at that time, when MMA started, there was no money in MMA for the fighters, and, so he continued to play football. So, but he told me, he said, if he was a football, had a choice between football and MMA, he would pick MMA to make it his career. So, this is something that Herschel, as you know, he's doing it for charity. He's donating 100% of his purse to a nonprofit, and he wants to just test himself. And he's been at the AKA training camp for the last 45 days. He's not going to go home for Christmas. He's going to stay through the holidays and train there. And I went there and watched him spar with Bobby Southworth and Kane, and work with all Fitch and Koscheck and Kung. And he's in good hands. But as far as the opponent, we'll find somebody that has his skill level, which is, he's a beginner in MMA. So, we'll find a guy that is a, heavyweight beginning fighter, and let's see what happens. Once he steps in the cage, it's really going to be up to him. Right?
Has there been any thought of moving him to the CBS card, or is
let me tell you guys something. This guy is a real successful businessman too. I'm not sure if you guys know that, but he put his whole life on hold to move to San Jose, to train for 3 months, to be a part of mixed martial arts because he loves it. And he said to me, he goes, Scott, if I'm not ready, and Javier and Bob say I'm not ready, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to embarrass the fighters that are really out there doing it. Because I'd like to do it, so if I'm ready, let me do it. But he's put his whole life on hold to come do this, and I respect him for that.
You're getting into fighting. Now,
yes.
You've been in fighting. Explain to people, because we hear a lot of people say, I train in martial arts, I'm a black belt in this. Yes. What is your background?
Well, I'm a 5th degree black belt in Taekwondo, and I'm a 1st degree black belt in Kempo. But, coming into being an MMA fighter, one thing that I had to do when I came to San Jose, I wanted to come here and train. I left all those black belts outside. Mm-hmm. I think once you want to become a fighter, you got to leave what you used to know outside and come in as a fresh guy.
Right.
And that's what I had to do. I had to clear my mind and say, I'm going to come in and start learning, because there's so much more to fighting than just being a black belt here and a black belt over there. You really got to start all fresh, and that's what I had to do. And I had to sort of use my athletic ability to try to, as they said, be on a fast pace. I got a fight coming up January the 30th, and I had to get on a fast pace, get on a fast track, and really start taking the knowledge that my trainers and the fighters at the gym knew.
So how do you deal with the ground game? Because that's the thing.
That's very tough. When I first got in, I've wrestled a little bit, so I knew a little bit about that. I have good base, and one thing that I had to learn was that jiu-jitsu. I knew a little bit because I've trained there a little bit. But, one thing I wanted to learn first is defense. You get in an arm bar or triangle, that can be devastating. Mm-hmm. So I want to learn all the defense and learn how to get out of a lot of different things. And that's what I've been working on a great deal. And now, I've been here for a little over a month, and I've been training, and now I'm working on how I can submit someone as well now.
That'd be interesting.
Yes.
Can you imagine if Herschel pulls off a submission in his first fight?
Well, and I said, that's what'll be interesting. And I said, that's what I dream about. I said, well, maybe I first thought about knocking him out. Then I said, well, wouldn't it be interesting to pull off a submission on someone?
Herschel Walker's with us. So can you practice for the size of the gloves when you're sparring? Have you taken some shots where you're like, boy, this hurts? I think that's the first wake-up call.
No doubt.
That's exactly what happened, I think, to Johnny Morton.
There's no doubt.
He didn't respect that.
He didn't respect that. I think Johnny Morton didn't respect the sport at all. Not to speak, I don't know what training he had or where he went to train. When I did my matchmaker bout, I had the smaller gloves on. And that's where you realize that it's a little bit different. When you get hit a little bit different. One of the reasons I wanted to come here to San Jose, they have pure fighters here. They have fighters at AKA that they're going to throw down all the time. We're in the ring. We're fighting 3 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing a lot of ring work 3 days a week, and we're getting, even though we don't have the smaller gloves on then, but we're getting punched, we're getting hit, and I think that's one reason I had to be here.
I heard they do a lot of sparring there. They're a little
different. They spar a
different.
great deal, and I think that's good, and for me that's great. And it's great for me because, coming out of football, you may say that, you have that mental toughness, but it's a totally different toughness. I have a helmet on. I may get hit in the head, and that's not that bad. But here, you don't have anything on. You get punched in the eye, you just got to come back.
That's Herschel Walker with us. He's making his MMA debut. Mid-40s will be nice, right? Mid-40s,
yes.
And that's going to be on January 30th. Did you get a chance to watch The Ultimate Fighter with Marcus Jones?
I did. I watched a little bit of The Ultimate Fighter.
What did you think of that? Because Marcus, he actually I think he's a really accomplished ground fighter, but
Marcus, but it's funny. I think I watched his first fight when he had that submission, that real quick submission. But I'm not sure whether they worked with Marcus on his stand-up. And, it was amazing that his hands were down. And a guy his size with that reach that he had, I will assume that if you're his trainer, the first thing you're going to teach the guy to do is how to punch. With that range he had, and as strong as he was, he was like that darkness that they call him. But if they had taught him to punch a little bit, he could have been dangerous.
And I think could have been is the right term because I don't know if he's going to stick with it. Because I know on the reality show he kind of flipped out after he lost and he was saying, I don't want to put my wife through this. And it's an interesting mindset as a fighter because your family kind of has to be in with it and you have to be able to deal with getting knocked out.
Totally different. And it's totally different because you have to clear your mind when you're training. One thing that I did, I have very lucky to have a successful business. I have a food company, very successful food company. And when I said that I was going to do this, I had to put it on the back burner. I turned it over to my people and said, guys, y'all going to have to run this. I'm not gonna be interested in it. I have to put my whole mind and soul into training to do this. If I'm gonna do it, I gotta be there in San Jose. I need to be thinking about fighting. I need to be thinking about submission. I need to be thinking about training, and that's what I'm doing.
Did you ever get offers to kind of do the celebrity fight type stuff, like like Canseco has done?
Well, I've gotten some offer to do that, and I said I wouldn't degrade the sport.
Okay.
I've been in martial arts for a long time, and I absolutely love MMA. And one thing I would not do is make the sport look bad. Because this is the ultimate athletes here. When you're talking about mano to mano, guys getting in the ring, and the one thing I will not do, and I've said it here, I've been here AKA training now for a little over a month, and I'm going to be here for a month more. And when my fight come up, if Javier, Bob Cook, Dave Camarillo say, Herschel, you're not ready to do this. And I say, okay, then I'm going to take their word for it because one thing is this sport got integrity, and I wanted to keep this integrity. This is a tough physical sport here.
So have you heard the criticism? A lot of people.
I've heard a lot of criticism.
So what's your reaction?
One thing about us, those people don't even know me. That's what's so strange about it. People criticize, but they don't know me. And I think the people that know me, they're not saying anything. They know the type of person I am. And, I'm in the gym with guys today, and I'm working out with them. Now, those are the ones that should be talking. People that know me, people that are training with me, people outside that never even met me that just assume that Herschel is this or Herschel is that. I don't really listen to it.
I've seen you at, I think, UFC events in the past, right? You've gone to a couple?
Yes, I did.
Have you met Dana White?
Yes, I know Dana. I know Dana very well.
So what was your reaction to him unloading on you about a month ago?
I really didn't think about it because, I said Dana is just upset. He's not the only show in town.
Okay.
But Dana's he don't even know the athlete I am. He questioned my athleticism, and I said, Dana, you're so funny because I don't know what you call an athleticism because I compete against anybody you want me to compete against. What do you want me to compete against? MMA? Well, it's a little bit different, but you're saying being an athlete. Athletes are doing a lot of different things, and I think I've done that.
So do you view this as something you're going to do for a while, or is it just a little stint?
Well, I think it's going to be one fight at a time.
Okay.
Like I say, I'm not what you call a young guy where I can be saying, I want to fight for a belt. No, I want to take this one fight at a time because I say I love the sport. I want to compete. I've always considered myself to be a great athlete. And I said, this is going to test me. It's not nothing. I got nothing to prove to anyone else. I want to prove it to myself.
Good deal. Well, good luck in it.
Thank you.
It's a brave move, and we know you're a great athlete, and I hope you do well.
Well, thank you now.